Other stuff.
I think we might do a self-guided tour.
Okay, all right. So let me show you then what we have here. So here up ahead we have a 20-minute film. It's a good introduction. Tells you about John Muir, when he lived here, and his job in making, or his part in making the National Park Service. So if you want to watch that, it's a good introduction. And then down this hallway we have our restrooms and the door that leads you outside to the park. You can go and tour the house on your own. We have our docent Judy in the house, so she can give you a brief history and you can explore the top floors on your own. And as you walk throughout the park, you'll see these numbers, and that's part of the cell phone tour. So when you go outside, you'll see the wooden post with the phone number and a stop number, and that's part of that cell phone tour. And as you walk outside, you'll see lots of different fruit trees. So all of these dots here are peaches and apricots, plums and grapes, pears. Right now what's in season are lemons. So if you want to take a lemon with you from our park, you can take some lemons there from that basket. The reason why we have so many fruit trees is John Muir, he married a very wealthy lady, Louisa Strensel, and her father was a horticulturist. So he owned a fruit ranch. Today the park is 9 acres, but they used to own over 2,500 acres. So no 7-Eleven back then, no freeway, no bank, no post office. All of this was part of their land. Yeah. So they had a lot of property, and most of it was fruit trees to sell. So that's what they had here.
I probably take a walk.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Take a lemon. You can put it in your salad or your water.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Would you want to watch the film first, or do you want to head outside?
I think we're just gonna head outside.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank
Welcome. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yes. Thank you.
or not, in the 50s was abandoned and vandalized and almost bulldozed. So
What does vandalize do?
vandalize means people come in and they take stuff and they like spray paint or they destroy what is here. And so the basement was a mess, and it just took those Henry and Fairfax with they had some money and they were locals and they bought the abandoned place, much to the critique of locals, and they just started with a broom and a dustpan, started cleaning it up themselves. And just regular people that care about history are the ones that can save these places. And so she would dress up in period Victorian dress, and for fundraisers perhaps, and he would work on the exterior of the roof. And with the help of a local group that cared about history, they were able to sell it to the Park Service in '64. And that's how this place was saved. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I know, a success story, a great success story for sure. So I wanted to make sure we get to talking about the wife's family, because without Louis Strenzel's family, John Muir could easily have been just sauntering in Yosemite's mountains, talking to trees, hugging them, and unbeknownst to the world, still. Right, come this way. Yes, lighting, pocket doors, right? Let's see. Look at all this paneling. Right, what do you notice in here? Another fireplace? Yes, another fireplace. This is how they heated each room. They didn't have a central furnace. Yeah, right. So these are recreated to be just as fancy as they would have had before. So where do we start our story? Well, we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. And so we start John Muir's famous legacy with his wife's parents, because they really provided a strong foundation for his fame and legacy. So, for instance, his father-in-law, Dr. John Strenzel, was from Poland. And so he emigrated as a story of immigration. And he participated, so he was from a wealthy family, and he actually got 2 degrees. He became a general practice medical doctor, and then he also became a viniculturalist, which just says he got that Pennsylvania certificate. And he emigrated to the US for better opportunities. And this gets confusing. He met a woman named Louisiana in the state of Texas. She was from Tennessee. Gotcha. And they married and had 2 kids. Louis, the eldest daughter, and a son, not pictured here, another Johnny. And they were inspired in 1849 to risk their whole lives, pack up everything into a wagon, and slowly go to California. Why? Why did people want to go in 1849 become the 49ers?
Gold.
Go to California.
Gold.
Gold rush, yes, more like a gold crawl, because it was very slow going. Has anyone moved before? Yeah? How long did it take you to get from one place to the other?
Like 3 months.
3 months? That's a long move.
About like 3 months.
Yeah?
Well, yes, it took that long.
You must have taken a horseless carriage too.
But the actual travel took like an hour and a half.
An hour and a half, okay.
Hour and a half of travel,
So
like
it took
3 months
most of
of
a
packing.
year for the Strenzels, with Dr. Strenzel as the expedition's doctor, to get from in a carriage, wagon, train from Texas to California. And where did they go? Central Valley, fertile land, and they farmed. But just as we're on a hill today, why did they build this mansion on a hill? Their farm was flooded and they lost everything. And this was common back then. She lost an infant named Lottie. and she fell bedridden sick for 3 years, and the family was devastated. And they were strong enough, they picked up and they moved here to what was once called Cañada del Hambre, Arroyo del Hambre. What does that mean in Spanish? Like tengo hambre for lunch. Hunger, the Canyon of Hunger. And Louisiana reportedly thought it was so beautiful about this beautiful fertile valley, the homeland of Indians for generations, that she renamed it after the Moorish fortress in Spain, Alhambra. And now we call this place Alhambra Valley. And there was this small fruit tree experiment Dr. Strenzel did, and he was so successful at what he did, a father of California agriculture, that it grew into 2,600 acres, 4 square miles between here and the Delta.
Whoa.
Yeah, a lot of fruit. But you plant all those trees, but who's gonna pick it? You need a lot of help. Well, immigrants arriving from another country. Where are they coming from? Yes, China! Chinese immigrants. Yes, so they employ Chinese, among others, Chinese immigrants. And we're going to learn about one of the Chinese immigrants in the next room, the kitchen, where Ah Feng, the head cook, would say to all of us, please don't come in. The kitchen is too dangerous. No visitors allowed. We'll break this rule. Yeah. Come with me.
What's the ceiling height?
Oh goodness, 12-foot ceilings, I've heard. Why? Some people say it's for, the hot air gets trapped up top. And then elegance. I think it was also just they wanted this to be a celebration of their success. Yes.
Why is there so much fruit in there?
Yes. Why is there this simulated fruit, these peaches, in this box that they would get ice from the train? They would put ice in the top of the box to cool it, and so they called it an ice
box?
Ice box, exactly. A refrigerator of their day, but very small, right? Yeah. There's the ice box. And who mentioned how did they heat all that running hot water? This stove. This stove is original, probably no looters wanted to pick it up. And it has pipes running through it. It just says there's pipes here, and there's double faucets over there. So hot running water for this smart home of their day. And there was a windmill that helped pump water from wells. Water goes up the pipes to water tanks on each floor. You'll see one in the back of the attic. And then gravity fed through the hot stove, and back up you could have a hot bath upstairs with the twist of a handle. Yeah, you'd be very comfortable here. And you didn't have to go outside to an outhouse in the middle of the night. There was indoor plumbing and toilets. Right?
Is this an oven right here?
Yeah, oven on one side, stove on the other. Let's see. And so baking bread, pies. What do you do with all that fruit? Well, over here, it's a soapstone slab. So this was found buried in the backyard, and it was cool to the touch. Great for baking and fruit. So there's a spiced grape recipe up there. Louis in Louisiana and others were famous with county fair prizes for their fruit preserves. And how do you do your laundry back in the day without laundry machines? It's also an instrument. Do you know how they did their laundry? They It was a board they washed their clothes on. Oh, washboard, exactly. Yeah, each piece of clothing by hand. It would take hours. Yeah. Maybe they used, what is it? Borax from Death Valley. So, with the chilled peaches, John Muir would give to his guests in the dining room. They would delight in storytelling in the dining room. Who tells good stories in your family?
Pretty much everyone.
All right, what an entertaining group. Come on over.
That's what he said, right?
That one? I didn't hear that.
Did he say that they were down there in the backyard and slapped? Yes. Why would he do that?
Nice.
Vandals, maybe? Oh, this is nice.
So, who tells a good story in your family? Everyone? Really? What do you tell stories about?
Lots of
What?
Lots of things.
Like the vast majority of things you can talk about? Yeah? What's one story topic you can think of? What? Nature? Great. Natural stories, natural histories. John Muir was famous for his nature stories. I'll tell you in a minute about a famous story his daughters would plead for, to tell them again and again, about Stickeen, the little black dog that could. But it wasn't just John Muir that was famous for his stories. His daughter, Wanda Strentzel Muir, she was a great storyteller in that she wrote a letter to her mom in 1902 about a Sierra Club outing with her father in the Sierras. And she said, here we go. Yesterday, we had a meeting of college women here in camp. Where did it go? Yesterday, we had a meeting of college women here in camp. Isn't it a fine answer to the people who say that college girls are weak and good for nothing generally? For there wasn't one of us that could not walk comfortably 20 miles, or if necessary, do anything that has to be done around a camp, from cooking a camp meal to packing a mule. The very strong women in this family to entertain about their adventures. And so John Muir, he's famous for his stories, but one of them I adore that we perform at campfire storytelling events as well. We have a costume for the dog, is Stickeen. Stickeen was a dog he met that he wanted nothing to do with in Alaska. When he was on a canoe trip at the dock, Stickeen, an American Indian tribe nearby, was owned by Reverend Young, his travel mate, and he looked at the scrappy dog, and he said, "No, this dog cannot come with us, Reverend Young. It will only be a burden. We'll have to take care of it, and it will die in the storms." And Reverend Young said, "No, it can swim like a seal and bear cold and hunger like a polar bear." So the dog came with them. And it was a very queer character. It did not want to be pet or hugged. On the canoe, it looked away dreamily at the sky, but always knew when they were talking about the shoreline, because it would be the first to jump out of the canoe towards the shoreline when they set up camp, and in the morning, the last to be called back by the crew, calling out to Stickeen. The crew would wait at the side of the bay, saying, "Oh, Stickeen, Stickeen!" And finally, Stickeen would run out of the bushes and swim and be pulled up by the scruff of his neck into the canoe. They didn't really know what he was good for. He didn't fetch birds when he went with the hunter. But John Muir did feel pity when his paws got cut up on crusty ice and made little booties for him out of a handkerchief. One morning, John Muir wanted to go onto Taylor Glacier, climb up this giant mountain of ice, because he wanted to explore the miles of the glacier and study it. But he woke up to a horizontal flood storm that was so wild. Yet he took a piece of bread in his pocket, and he had not gone a dozen rods when who leapt out of the tent next to him but Stickeen! He said, "Go back, Stickeen. This storm is no match for you. This storm will kill you. Go back and get a warm breakfast." And just as the earth cannot be shed by the moon, Stickeen could not be deterred. And he came with John Muir. And John Muir took a journal with him, and he liked to draw. Does anyone like to draw? Yeah, he drew sketches. You can still see them of the landscapes he saw. And he climbed up with his pickaxe up to the top of the glacier, and he walked 6 miles across it in the storm. Yet, when it was getting dark and the storm was getting worse, he wanted to go back. He only had a compass and no map, and he kept on getting stopped by these giant holes in the glacier called crevasses that were too deep for light to penetrate. They were dark and deep, and he would have to jump over them and hope that he didn't fall backwards. And Stickeen would jump over them with calmness and no worries. And yet he found he was stuck on a ice island. He could not go in miles in either direction to find a way around, and there was only one way across from the ice island over a giant ice bridge, a sliver bridge, just one of these wood boards. That was how wide it was. And from one end to the house to the other. And you had to go down a 10-foot cliff, icy cliff, go across the ice sliver bridge, and up a 12-foot cliff on the other side. It was the only way across, and Muir made haste to make sure he could get back to camp before dark. And so he caught his way down the ice sliver bridge and across. Meanwhile, Stickeen on the other side is going, "No!" wailing and moaning, "I cannot go to that terrible place." And Muir made his way. How he got up the 10-foot cliff on the other side, he does not know. And he called to Stickeen from the other side, "You're going to die out here. I'm going to leave you." And Stickeen moaning and groaning, but he called out. Let's call out to Stickeen. "Stickeen! Stickeen, come over!" And Stickeen finally took up courage, and John Muir saw the fear and courage in this creature, that all living creatures have that common humanity. And Stickeen, 4 legs are better than 2. He walked across the ice bridge. How's he gonna get up that 10-foot cliff on the other side? Well, he took one look at the holds he had to pedal past, and he took a mighty leap, and he leaped into John Muir's arms.
Whoa!
They were saved. Have you ever seen a dog do zoomies?
What's that?
When they run around in circles? That's what Stickeen did. Stickeen did zoomies. Sweet deliverance. And they ran back as fast as they could, jumping over those tiny crevasses, and they got a warm meal from the hunter after they came back. And they were best buds the rest of the trip. But a few weeks later, they had to say goodbye because this was not Muir's dog. And they said goodbye to each other as the canoe pulled away. Do you think they ever saw each other again?
Perhaps. I think they did.
That is hopeful, but they did not see each other again. They never saw each other. But John Muir loved that dog so much, he named all his other dogs after him. So Stickeen the second, Stickeen the third, Keeny. So you'll see that name a lot. The end. Thank you. So John Muir, he loved to go to his happy place with William Keith, a friend and painter, and they enjoyed time together, and he brought it back to the masses, trying to inspire people to save the woods. Where is your happy place outdoors?
Right in the garden.
Jude, did you see the little,
Which is so cool. Yes, isn't it fabulous?
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's fantastic. Yeah, look, it has two local diamond mines. That was
Well,
really,
he really is.
I want this.
Absolutely good.
Yeah, but we need a sunroom like this here. Let's build one. We need.
Where is your happy place outdoors? Where do you like to be outside?
I like to be in the forest.
The forest, yes, lovely. And how do you feel when you're in the forest?
I don't know how to.
Right, indescribable feeling, totally. Right, so powerful. Words cannot, words fail you. Anyone else? Where is your favorite place outdoors? It might be one of these paintings from nearby. Tuolumne Meadows on the left, Yosemite Falls in the middle, Vernal Falls on the right, Los Gatos Forest. Yeah? And how do you feel when you're over there? Calm. I love it. The sense of peace that overcomes John Muir. This is what he was trying to bring back to the masses, that we need not log these giant sacred forests, that we need not destroy the beauty of the wildlife there. We can appreciate these places more than just for profit. And that's what John Muir brought back and was able to convince people to establish these national park systems, and for all of you to own this public land and be able to take care of it. So thank you all for joining me. If you have any questions, I'm free to chat. Otherwise, feel free to go upstairs. There's a great scribble den with John Muir's original desk upstairs. And then when you're in the attic, you can even ring, when no one's in the bell tower, ring the bell for the whole house. Enjoy. Goodness. Are you on for having work?
I don't know. I haven't really got anything done.
On the second.
You can help.
I have the first 5.
I have two.
Yeah. You hear your dad? You have to jump this every night. Those windows. It's pretty awesome, huh? Oh, nice, now sink in here. Whoa. Hang on, turn around, I'll take you guys a picture. Oh, this is, oh, there's the bell.
Yeah, you can bring it. A little loud, huh?
It's okay.
I barely did it too.
Oh, look, the sun's shining way out over there.
Oh yeah.
Hey. You look so happy.
I think that wire is for lighting.
Well, yeah, maybe there's one right here that goes up.
Makes sense.
Alright, so ring the bell.
Oh yeah, that's.
say it really cheap.